Hi, my name is Victoria Boyer from Liberty University, class HSCO 508. I would like to introduce my interpersonal communication project with you. Let's get started. Interpersonal communications. Stewart has defined interpersonal communications as a type of communication that happens when people involved talk and listen. In his definition, he does not mean that it has to be face to face or just two people speaking together, but it can have where there are written notes, text, and it can involve a telephone call. One thing that Stewart is specifying is that there is a listener and a speaker. Let's go with what he's saying here. Another main communication skill that he's speaking on is that in this talking and listening, you can send, receive, give clues, and exhale and inhale. And as I looked at that interpersonal communications, I realized that there are some things that I need to improve in mine. First of all, in my interpersonal communicational skill, I have a deficiency in becoming an effective listener. I don't always listen carefully. So as I pulled the scripture, I was looking at James 1:19. He says, "My dear brother and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." So we see that listening is a very important skill that we must have. Berkeley Allen note that becoming an effective listener is always a way to reduce stress, tension, and it builds teamwork, trust, and sense of belonging to a group. As a leader, it is very important skill to have. Listening is. You would want to be able to listen to what everyone has to say and how they are speaking, and that'll help us clear up things and not get confused. Well, one of the things that I've learned is that in my skills, I have a behavior blend that we learned. Our class was able to take a test from Uniquely You. And in that skill, I realized what was expected of me was that I am a study specialist, and this is what they see, that I'm competitive, influence, and specialist. Let's get into that and understand that a little bit more. When I looked at my graph on what was expected of me, it says my blend is with the crowd because I feel that others want me to be still and quiet. I can be loyal and friendly on an individual basis, though. People want to draw towards me. They often think that I am a servant of humanity. So, in graph 1, that's what I saw. But in graph 2, what this is me, I tend to be more passionate. This acts. I'm also a strong person. I have strong personal skills. I'm outgoing, reserved, kind of quiet. I'm generally like to influence and interact with people, but I can also be withdrawing. I tend to be friendly, cordially, and I do not rub people the wrong way. I'm not critical. I'm not pushy nor controlling. If I look at my blend on a controlling level, I would need to now, just looking at the both charts together, the graphs together, I need to increase my confidence, my fear, speak out more often, become a little bit less inhabited, because I am, and to be more observant. Now, just looking at that blend, I realize that I do have a lot that I need to deal with. But even in the other tests that we took, Quindom test, I came at a 78 out of 100, means that I'm a pretty good communicational skill person, but I still have a lot of things to fix. So as I looked at my background to bring that blend together, as you know, I am an African American, but I do have some Indian culture inside as well from my father's side of the family. I'm the middle of 3 children and I'm divorced. I have 2 children, but as I looked at my positive influence, well, I'm committed to God. We've always had God spoken in our family. Respectful. We were taught to be respected people. I love people, and I'm a hard worker. My father was always a hard worker. And then on the negative influences is that confrontational and controlling. Those are 2 aspects that I do not have inside of me. And sometimes you need to have a little of it, not too much, but a little can't hurt. Then I went back and I looked at my barriers of communications. One of my barriers is on the meta message side. I tend to not always hear a message, but I hear the meta message. A meta message can cause a great degree of hurt and cause a sense of unworthiness. And that's one of the things that I do see that I have a problem with. I need to learn how to divide, and that would be a resolution for me. Learning to divide the 2 that I might not be able to interfere and blend them together. And then I will be able to understand people more when they are speaking with me. Another wall of communications that I have issues with is that when I have been deception, well, I've been deceived, or betrayal. Those are other 2. I don't trust you once those factors come in play. So what I'm learning is that only God can help you with that, because when you have been betrayed, you must forgive the person and forget the issue. Don't let it come back up in your life. Those are things that I have to ask God to help me with, and those are 2 barriers that I see that can hurt my interpersonal communications, and I will not be able to have better listening skills, that I'm able to deal more with people. So as I look at my interpersonal communications, I realize for an action plan, I need to learn to listen, understand more, and do not stereotype people because of some of the things that I hear with the meta message. And the message, I need to divide that so I will not stereotype people. And of course, I need to pray without cease so that God can help me with all of this as I learn. Now, I have showed you my interpersonal communication project. And as you see, I do have some work to do. And I do need to make sure that I am watching my 2 barriers and that I am making sure that this blend fits and that I'm able to communicate more with people, learn to have a better listening skill. You know, sometimes you have to be quiet because even as a communicator, you speak and you listen. So those are 2 aspects that you must have anyway. So as I leave you, I want to leave you with a quote. It says, interpersonal communication is important in the world. It can be between 2 or more individuals, and there is always a speaker and a listener. Work through barriers, destroy walls, and keep building bridges that promote a skillful communications. Thank you so very much, and you continue to have a blessed day.